So a new year is finally upon us, and with it the counter for how much I've saved for the year has reset. So in today's video, I'm going to show you all how I plan to save over $60,000 for 2025. In case you're new here, I'm Raymond, a software engineer on the path to financial independence and retiring early, and I've managed to save over $180,000 so far. If you'd like to follow me on my journey, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, so thank you so much in advance. In case you don't know, I model a lot of my stuff out on a spreadsheet, but I decided for the purposes of the video, it would be better to present it in something a little bit nicer. So that's why I decided to take those numbers and just move it over to a snaky chart. The link is going to be down in the comments in case you're interested in using a tool like this yourself. This is not sponsored, I just think that it's really neat. So there are really three primary areas to look for inputs. The first is my current compensation for the first 3 months of 2025, after which I'll actually receive my raise for the remainder of 2025, which is the second part, as well as my bonus, which should happen assuming because we had a pretty decent year as a company, so I'm hoping that that's going to be at least paid out at the base amount. Those of you who have stuck around for a while might also know that I do have a little bit of rental income coming in, but for the purposes of this video, I'm not really including it, and it's kind of off in its own sort of flow. So looking at just those three sources, I'm projecting an income of $116,625.37 for 2025. Now, these numbers could go up or down depending on whether or not I get a bigger or lower raise, as well as if we get a bigger or lower bonus, but this is just the number that I'm starting off with as a pretty decent baseline. Moving on to pre-tax deductions as well as expenses, my health insurance unfortunately has gone up in terms of premiums for the year, so it's going to be $90 a month for me in this case. But beyond that, this is where I get to start talking about some of my investment plans, which is going to be maxing out my 401k and HSA like I did last year. For my 401k, I still intend to put all of my money into pre-tax, all $23,500 of it into my 401k. My HSA is also going to be maxed out, but this is going to be a slower process because my company co-contributes $1,000 and these contributions are spread out across the whole year. I'm also not expecting to itemize my deductions for 2025, so I'm going to be taking the standard deduction, which has increased to $15,000 for 2025. Once you include all of that, I get some amount of taxable income. I pay about $9,000 in federal income taxes, and that brings me to a net income of $70,648.36 as a rough estimate. This is where things get even more interesting. So those of you who have been around for a while might know that I have access to a mega backdoor Roth through our company's 401k plan, and even though I still can't quite max it out for the year, I still get decently close, about 60 to 70% or so, closer to the 60% side of maxing that out, including my company's matches on the 401k. So of the around $40,000 that I could contribute into my mega backdoor Roth, I'm able to comfortably put in $26,814.36 into this bucket. All this is after-tax money, which is then converted into Roth contributions through my plan. In addition to that, I am still also planning to max out my Roth IRA for the year. This one is kind of a no-brainer, but $7,000 going into that. That then brings me over to my spending. I'm pretty happy with my spending habits currently, but I am still projecting some amount of inflation for the year. So 3% inflation, which means that I'm going to be spending roughly $36,783.98 for the total year. I might have to adjust this up or down depending on the circumstances throughout the year, but I think that this is a pretty good baseline for a single person living alone in a medium cost of living city. Finally, we get to the leftover amount after all of that, which is $50.02, which is going into savings. All in all, I'm pretty excited to see what 2025 holds because I'm going to be saving $61,664.38 roughly, which is 52.87% of my gross income or 87.28% of my net income. I'm hoping that the upcoming year will be pretty solid for the stock market. It's been a pretty rough start to the year, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming 11 months. In any case, that's all I have for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.